That is right, sir. I said that is how it is with the people of Israel. He added, I made the world for their sakes, but when Adam broke my commands, the world came under my judgment. And this is why we always go into the sons of God, because Israel, it means prince of the power, but that's another way of saying a son of God or sons of God. You know, for women, you will be daughters of God or princesses of God. But it all starts with the man, you know, and then ultimately women fall under the man anyway, because that's how people, or that's how life continue on earth, you know, a man and a woman. So it typically just say the man, but it covers everybody unless it's something specific. So that's how it is with, like I said, with Israel. Right. And that's why he specifically mentioned Adam, because it's about the sons of God, you know, and the sons of God ruling the earth and righteousness. That's what it was all about. But when Adam went off, you know, when that first son of God is established to dominate the earth and rule it in righteousness, and he went off, he said the whole world came under his judgment, meaning we all had to go through the process of death, you know, because that's when death entered into the world. We had to go through the process of death and going through the process of understanding what evil really is and how it affects the world, how it affects life. You know, the Lord took us through this long process of getting understanding. Which I'm gonna get a precept.
Yeah, you know, just like when he told my friend, they called him, what I say his name, they called him? Chicken Jaw. And he went to the man and trying to tell about the supervisor, what the supervisor's doing. The man was threatening to fire him, told him, get away from me, you know, before you get fired. I mean, it just, you know, it's a joke, you know. And the man said, well, Coop said, well, who do I supposed to go to if I can't come to you? I mean, he don't care nothing about, you know, their situation. Didn't care nothing about his approach. You know, now people be wasting their time trying to deal with these Edomites. They ain't no good. I mean, not damn. I don't care the one that look nice, might give you a drink. They ain't nothing but some snake. They baiting you up for something. They don't give you nothing unless something they want back out of it.
Right. Like I said, we understand the man we dealing with. That's why the scriptures tell us to get wisdom and get understanding. Right. You know, just bringing this up again. But if Jake, you know, Nolan Wells, if he understood this, who he was around, you know, the type of people he was around, he would have never been in that situation. You know, because it's still coming out what happened. We still trying to, you know, find out, or they still have yet to reveal the true story. But getting understanding of the scriptures and understanding of the people around us and who we're dealing with, we would never put ourselves in that situation. I mean, you got Jake in the world that don't know the scriptures, don't know the truth. They wouldn't be in that predicament, because, you know, the Lord still give us a level of common sense as well. You know, He give us common sense, but when you get an understanding of who these people really are, you for sure ain't gonna put yourself in that situation.
Right, because Esau got everything is out of whack. Everything is screwed up. Everything is out of balance. You know, he's got our women going against us. He's got and the men of Yasha'Allah is the one that's taking the heat up. You know, because the work, he got us fighting against each other on the workforce. You know, families can't get along. You know, just in the amongst ourselves, you know, we killing each other, you know, which the Most High prophesied that will happen. But, you know, and then you hear people talking about we got to band together and rise up. You know, that's the wrong attitude. You know, I mean, you can't rise up against this man. He's got weapons, you know, they can take out a whole block, you know, just with one little drone. You know, so everything is out of course, you know. Animals out of their place, you know. Food is not good. Water is not good, you know. Ever since the leadership has changed, you know, they recalling stuff every day on food. Right? You don't know what to eat. You know, and if you don't, if you don't grow it yourself, you know, you like, should I eat this or not? You know, so it's we can see, and then before I came down, the nightly news was on. Yeah. They were showing all the smoke coming out of Canada. They were showing the out in Texas, the flooding, you know, the wildfires that's happening in different spots, chaos just happening among people, earthquakes, you know, and this is beginning to be worldwide now. It's not just the U.S., but it's beginning to happen worldwide. And, you know, it made me think about, you know, angles, where, you know, you escape one disaster and run into another disaster, and it take you out. So, you know, Most High is sending judgment now. Right. You know, it's ramping up.
Ramping up, for sure, right. And did y'all see that on YouTube where over in Japan we did all that water and then the water got so high, they had like a snake farm. They raised number of snakes like
the snakes were running all down.
Yeah.
Us in this truth knowing what's going on, that's what the Lord wanted us to do. He wanted us to get an understanding of what's going on, why it's happening. You know, but going all the way back to the beginning, like I was saying, even with Adam, you know, the Lord took the sons of God on this journey. You know, that's what this whole time is, a journey. You know, from the time of Adam all the way to present day, present time, this present moment. It's been a journey of learning and getting an understanding, a true understanding of Yahweh Shema Shai and how he created things and how he wanted this earth to be ran and governed. You know, and it's gonna translate on, because we still gonna be learning. Even in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna be learning new things, you know. The creations of the Lord, there's so many things that's hidden. But as far as righteousness is and wickedness, well, we got a full in-depth understanding of that. You know?
Right. We need to know what's going on. We appreciate it. You know, they're just like when you're going to buy a vehicle, you pay for it yourself. You appreciate it.
Right. Anything you buy, you appreciate.
Yeah. So what we doing, you know, we're glad we're going through all these hardships. He's taking us down through there so we can know how to enhance it this time around.
And that's a blessing within itself.
Right.
To be, you know, we wish and hope and pray that we are of the elect, of the 144 and the elect, right, that he has preserved to make it through this process or this wrath or this judgment that he's going to bring upon the earth. You know, but doing the right thing, it's almost like you preparing to please your parents, right, because it's something you want from them. And what we want is we want that eternal life. We want that salvation that he promised. That's what we want. That's what we desire. You know, and so it's a beautiful thing and a blessing that he entrusts us with his word, the understanding, wisdom, because everybody doesn't get that. You know. Right. You want the Proverbs? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna start at 6. This Proverbs 6, it says, do not turn away from her wisdom.
Start at 5. Yeah, I think that's what it says. You wisdom, get understanding.
No, that's 6. Yeah. What 6 says? This is Proverbs 4, verse 5. I'm gonna read it in the AMP. It said, get skillful and godly wisdom, acquire understanding, actively seek spiritual discernment,
Right.
comprehension and logical interpretation.
Right.
Do not fear, do not get nor turn away from the words of my mouth.
Right. So like you said, get wisdom, get understanding, get discernment, being able to judge situations, being able to judge the spirits, judge people, and discernment going to many different things. Get understanding, logical interpretation of the scriptures, because a lot of people don't understand why certain things are created the way it is. But everything is explained in the Bible, in the scriptures. Yeah. So like I said, you read it again.
Alright, this is Isaiah 4:5. Proverbs 4:5. It says, get skillfully and godly wisdom, acquire understanding, actively seek spiritual discernment, mature comprehension, and logical interpretation. Do not forget nor turn away from the words of my mouth.
Right, don't turn away from the words that out by your mouth. So again, we got the understanding of the scriptures. We understand questions that a lot of people in this world still asking or still wonder why certain things are set up the way it is by these people. That's one of the biggest questions. Is our people, they sit there, they hate us until our skin comes. But that don't make any sense. Because we ain't the only dark-skinned people on the earth. But it's much deeper than that, why these people truly hate us. Again, like I used for example, the Nolan Will situation, you would never find one of the brothers putting themselves in a situation like this. You would never find one of the brothers allowing their children to be put themselves in a situation like this, where Esau can have their way and possibly try to get away with it, That ain't wise. That wasn't a wise thing to do. And, unfortunately, they prayed, he paid the price for it. It ain't saying that, Jake just was out there making bad decisions, but that was a bad decision to be out there with Esau like that, especially young Israelites, Because you would think that it didn't pass down and they don't have that same spirit that their forefathers had. Let's bring the camera back closer. You would probably start thinking that they didn't have that same spirit, but they don't have that same spirit their forefathers had. We're talking about so-called white people. We're talking about Esau even with the wicked.
That's right. And I had a little friend here a long time ago. And she wasn't with the white lady both. Both of them, they working in America. I just put it like that. And she trusted that Edomite, And so, Edomite go stay gone for an hour. And then she tried it, stay gone for an hour. Then all of a sudden, got back to the boss lady that she was staying over her. Edomite told her that, all right now, told him that she took a longer lunch break. But both of them were doing it. But she got told off because she trusted these people. She in love with these people. We good friends. She won't do nothing like that. And get what? And Serpent Roll and Bill. Now, I just don't trust Edomite like I never had. When I was coming up, I never had. I had one, we was little kids growing up, when Second Say we be on the hill on, what's it called?
Ellis.
Yeah, on Ellis. White boy called me a nigga. That was a long time ago. Where the arcade game used to be right there in the what's it called. I ain't never cared for him. I never cared for him. little bitty white boy. I just looked at it. I want to knock his, knock his ass out. But I just walked, went off. Yeah.
Yeah, but these guys, these boys had pride. They felt that they were protected because one of them mom was a judge. I think one of them dad was the FBI. One of them dad was a sheriff or a deputy or something, on the police force. So they felt like they could do it and get away with it.
Right.
And now it's coming out and it's making world news. Mostly all of this stuff that's happening now is making world news. And so, it's got to be responded and dealt with, because what's going to eventually happen, these other countries going to tell, Trump, you can't even handle your own country. Why are you over here in our country?
Right.
Look at the murders and stuff you got. So it's going to make him look bad on him. So eventually he's going to have to tell somebody to respond, make somebody pay for it,
Right.
Because it's going to eventually, as it get more and more and more world attention, he's going to have to do something. He can't let that slide.
All right.
But it may happen, it may not. But it's just they felt too comfortable. They got too comfortable in their ways. And it probably had happened down there before and just never got, said. Nobody said anything about it.
Yeah,
But you see, being Crump, he on 3 cases now.
Yeah.
You're right here in Mississippi.
Right here in Mississippi. Sure, right.
So, it's things are gonna get worse and worse. So, now's the time to, like he was going into, inform your kids about hanging around these Edomites, because they're not your friends. The scripture tell you they lay in the bed at night and think of ways to set you up in traps.
Right.
Just roughly paraphrasing it. So, they don't sleep. They thinking of what they can do next to try to get back at you.
Right. You ain't 10 smart, they'll get you.
Right. All right, verse 6, it says, "Do not turn away from her wisdom, and she will guard and protect your love, protect you, Salaki. Love her, and she will watch over you." The beginning of wisdom is get skillful and godly wisdom. It is permanent, it is preeminent, and with all your acquiring, get understanding. Actively seek spiritual discernment, mature comprehension, and logical interpretation.
Read that verse in the
KJV, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
Right, so it said wisdom is the principal thing, which is the most important thing. This is the most important thing for us to do while we're here on earth, is to get a wisdom and get understanding of what everything the Lord got going on. That's the most important thing. For the Israelite man, woman, and child, first and foremost. So how that translates, and that's what the Lord told Adam. That's what He gave it to Adam. When He breathed that breath of life into Adam, that breath of life was going into. He gave Adam the laws, statutes, and commandments, and the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on how to rule the earth. Because again, remember, it says it in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 that wisdom leads you into a kingdom, and if that's your desire to have, to have the throne, have the scepter, and the rule, then you're supposed to desire and honor wisdom. So Adam had the rulership, he had the kingdom, but he failed, and we learn from these various different mistakes as well about what to do and what not to do. Like I said, the Lord has given us a complete understanding of righteousness and wickedness, so that we don't continue to make the same mistakes. But see, the majority of our people don't have that understanding, not to make the same mistakes as our forefathers once did, and they going down the same path, and a lot of our people going down that same path. But like the Lord commands us to get wisdom, with all that getting, get understanding. It's the most principal thing, the most important thing in your life. Despite everything else you got going on, you make sure that you get the wisdom of the Lord, because Even if you don't get on this side, you're gonna be born with it on the next side. So you're gonna get it regardless. But why not go through it the easy way? You know, or I ain't gonna say the easy way, but more of the logical route. You know, because like we're going into it said in Sirach chapter 2, when thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. So when you come to serve the Lord, it ain't gonna be just no easy road. Like we're going into that road, that path that leads into the kingdom of heaven. It's not an easy road.
Right.
Can you get Sirach 2? Yeah, you can.
This is Sirach 2, starting at 1. It said, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptations. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
Right, so it said, if you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. So again, we desire the kingdom, so we have to prepare our soul for what we got to go through. Just like we got in Acts 14 and 22, it said it's not going to be, it said through much tribulation must we enter into the kingdom. So you're going to go through different things. We're going to go through things in this world. You know, going back to like you had said, that brother said he can't wait for it all to be over.
Yeah.
It's just a part of his life, a part of his journey to have to go through the things that he's going through in his life. Because he's going to be in the kingdom too, you know.
Right.
As long as he's an Israelite, he's going to be in the kingdom at some point. You know, whether he are the elect or not. So we have to go through what we got to go through in our life in order to receive the kingdom. And that's why these scriptures was written, to give us that encouragement.
Right, and the Most High gonna test you anyway. You know, when you becoming into wisdom gonna test you to see if she can trust you. You know, she gonna walk with you through the crooked ways.
Right.
You know, and she gonna walk with you through crooked ways. She gonna test you to see if you can be entrusted with this, because this is a treasure. It's not something to take lightly. It's not something to, you know, just, well, you know, I do it if I want. If I don't have to, I do something else. No, the Most High is gonna test you. You know, it's just like you wouldn't give your child your bank account information if you know he's gonna spend all your money. You're gonna test him first, you know, before you allow him to have control of it. So I just say a credit card. You know, you may give him a card with a limit of $500. You know, or you increase that limit to where, you know, you can trust him with the bigger amount. You know, the same way with us, because he said, if I can entrust you with small things, then I can give you greater things. Verse 3, it said, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy test, at thy last end. So like,
right, so it said, cleave unto him and depart not away. Meaning you got to stick with the Lord through thick and thin. You know, like you want people in the world to stick with you through thick and thin, but how you gonna abandon the Lord when he like, look, we're gonna go through this together? Because that's really what it be. Like you said, the Lord, he's gonna put you to the test a lot of times, and he wants you to go through it with him, so he can show you what he can do for you, you know, or what he will do for you. And your faith, you will increase behind it. You gotta kind of think about it from that perspective. How the Lord will bring you through various tests just to increase you. Because you know that that's what you need in order to reach the next level. You know, so the Lord wants you to go. He don't want to go through the end. Lord ain't gotta go through it. You know, he said he gonna be with you, so he want to go through it with you. So why I say depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. No matter what you go through, it's going to be for your benefit in the long run. A lot of people, they don't see everything like that, you know. They don't see that us being under Esau, you know, us learning to, you know, we still observing this man. Like we gotta observe that this man's kingdom is falling. And when you really realize his kingdom is falling, you start to see, okay, I understand what he's doing, and the reason why the Lord is bringing this man down because of how he ruling the earth. And if you call yourself the next world ruler, got 4.11. You call yourself the next world ruler. Well, you got to examine what these people are doing wrong to make the Lord bring the judgment on them that they get, so you don't make the same mistakes. That's again going with all I get wisdom, get understanding with all I get. Wisdom is the principal thing, and with all I get an understanding. You know, and then on top of that, going through what you got to go through in order to truly earn it.
Whatsoever is brought up to thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
Right, so the Lord said, whatever your lot is, just accept it, you know, accept your lot, because if everybody was able to throw their bid in for a lot, and the Lord randomly gave you somebody else's affliction or problem, and then you realize that you don't even want that, you realize what you had was better. Now you wishing you had what you was going through over what somebody else is going through. So whatever the Lord put upon your path, He said take cheerfully. I mean, it's not going to be a cheerful thing, but accept it. Try to make the best out of it, or try to see the brighter side too. You know, that's what the Lord wants us to do, because the brighter side is us ruling the earth and this man going down. That's right. The brighter side to it all. But in order to keep that, maintain that mindset, you gotta have a certain mindset that's gonna carry you on the way.
That's right.
For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Right, so like gold is tried in the fire, the Lord said He tried His men to make sure that His men is suited for what He about to give them. You know, we about to rule the whole universe. We about to get immortal bodies where we can never die, never sin, never go off, and then your children is gonna be able to come back and come in that same body as well. You know, so you don't have to ever see your children dying. You know, your wives finna be changed. What we finna get is so much. It's on a whole nother scale. So again, the Lord want to see if you really worth giving that over to, which He promised it to us anyway.
That's right.
That was 5 years.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 1. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night before. Well, sent unto me the night before. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow, and like a river. When thou could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it, if he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad?
Right, so we just reiterating the point again. In what tribulation must we enter into the kingdom of heaven? We got to go through this final stage of the empire of Esau, Edom falling, being destroyed, and Him coming down with that great wrath, all while maintaining our faith and integrity to Yahweh Shema B'Shah. You know, this ain't no, because this is a time like never before. So even though you have different stories, different accounts, different forefathers who have went through things in their time, this is on a whole other scale. So, we got to really, that's why I said cleave unto Him and part not away, that you may be increased at that last end. Because this is the last time. This process is never going to happen.
There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall. like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. And the only path between the boat, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be one man go there at once.
Right. Right, so the path to the kingdom is a tight road. It's a tight rope, you know. We'll continue Matthew 7, start at 12 or 13. Might be Matthew 7 and 13. 7 and 13. No, I think it might be 13 and 7.
All right, this is Matthew's 7 and 13.
You didn't pay that big.
All right, this is in the KJV. It said, "Enter ye into the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go through it."
Right, so it said,
Enter
ye in at the straight gate. So the straight gate is the difficult path, you know. Well, the same path that we speaking of right now, that Ezra was being told that all the saints of Yahweh by Shema Bashai gonna have to go through that straight path. You know, it ain't gonna be easy. The world gonna be against you, your family. You know, you're gonna find yourself in various different situations, unfavorable situations, but throughout it all, the Lord gonna be with you. But you gotta cleave unto him. You gotta really believe that the Lord is gonna be, you know, walking with you. And you gotta be patient. That's one of the most important things, is to be patient. Because again, like the brother has said, you know, he can't wait for it to be over. You know, he patient. He don't probably truly don't understand what he patiently waiting on.
Right.
But through the Spirit, he patiently waiting on a kingdom that's catered to him. You know, that's what the Lord has promised us, a kingdom that's catered to us. And we gotta maintain, again, our faith, our integrity, and our patience. You know, waiting. Like I said, wide is the gate, and broad is the way, meaning the way of this world, which is a lot of Israelites are finding themselves still stuck in. The way of this world, that's where it's going to be a lot of destruction. The Lord ain't lying about that, because he did the same thing happen during the time of Noah. Everybody else outside of Noah's family chose the wide gate. And like I said, many, and it was the gate into destruction, many there be that go in there at. So a lot of people found themselves being drowned to death, you know, during the time of the flood. And Noah, he chose that straight path, you know. His family was saved off of the account of his behalf, you know, and for the purpose of repopulating the earth, because Noah couldn't do it by himself, you know. So he did it for the Lord preserved him to repopulate the earth as well, and to keep the lineage of the sons of God going in the earth. And no time since Adam was established, you know, was the sons of God or the lineage of the sons of God ever cut off.
It said, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
Right, so Noah was the few that found it, and his family off of that was able to find it as well. But they was following his directions too. You know, because you just imagine as it got closer to the time of the flood, you know, ain't no telling what type of signs they were seeing. Ain't no telling what was going on. But we know that when it came time for the flood and that rain started coming down, his family ain't had no doubt. You know, whatever Noah told them to do, they did. Whatever Noah said, look, do it this way, they did it that way. You know, what's going on, bro? Shalom. That's how it was. You know, so like I said, few that be that go in there at the few was Noah and his family that went in that straight gate, but the wide gate was the rest of the world. You go back to that and read that verse again.
Second Ezra 7 and 8. And one only path between them. Well, I'm gonna start back at verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
Right.
And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be but one man go there at once.
Right. So that fire and that water is easy to tip back into the ways of this world, the ways that you had prior to coming into the truth. It's easy to fall back with what the Lord has told us. Because again, with much tribulation, like I said, Acts 14:22, through much tribulation must we enter into the kingdom. You know, and just like Yahweh Shah was tempted, we all gonna be tempted to go back, to fall back, to choose the more comfortable route, you know. But that's why the Lord said, you cleave unto him, depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. The Lord know what you're gonna go through. So he already know how to prepare you and set you up so you don't fail, which is what he did with the elect. He set the elect up so that they wouldn't fail, because he know exactly what you needed to go through in order to become the next version of yourself, or like I said, so you can be increased at your last end. What the Lord is doing is he want all of the elect to become the best versions of themselves that they can possibly be, you know, on this side. Because in the kingdom you're gonna be perfect. You know, that's gonna be the best version you can ever be. But on this side, he wants you to be the best version you could possibly be. So he's gonna take you through some things. It's just that the rest of our people don't understand the process of the Lord, like his cleansing process.
If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before him, how shall he receive this inheritance?
Right, so if you never go through what was set up, you go through your lot, how you gonna come out the best on the back end? You know, it's just like with any type of training you do, whether it be sports or acting or whatever the case may be. If you never go through the proper training, how you gonna be a better version of whatever it is you're trying to be? How you gonna be a better basketball player or a football player, you know, a better actor, you know, even a better singer, whatever it is. You gotta practice that, you know. It ain't just given unto you. Even though the Lord promised us the kingdom, he still wants us to earn it. You got it, bro.
And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. Because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and short, and brought immortal fruit.
Right, see, it was set up for us in the beginning. Like I said, with Adam, it was set up. You know, Adam had everything that he needed, everything. He was the ruler over it all, the beginning of the sons of God, of the lineage, you know, and the Lord gave him strict commandments on what to do. But when Adam failed, it made the path way more difficult, you know, and it brought death into the world, so now he couldn't enjoy it for all eternity. So now we trying to get back to that point of getting the understanding of why the Lord got it set up the way he got it set up, and trying to get back to the point of immortality.
Getting back to it.
Right, yeah.
If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
Right, could the brother get Proverbs 22 and 6 and the AMP real quick?
Read that again. Vain and straight.
Second Ezra 7 and 14. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
And so that's the part, like the brother said, we got to go through the straight and vain thing. This whole world vain, everything we're going through is vain, but we got to go through it to get back to where we fell from. You know, it's like we fell all the way from the top to the bottom. Now we got to climb our way all the way back up. You know, and go through all this, go through, you know, and by doing it step by step, we realize how far we fell, and we realize how good we really had. You know, and we still ain't gonna know until once we in the kingdom. You know, you got it.
All right, this is Proverbs 22:6. I'm gonna read in AMP. It said, "Train up a child in the way he should go, teaching him to seek godly wisdom and will for his abilities and talents. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it."
Right, so that's what the Lord has been doing this whole time, training us up in his ways, because we've been trained up in the world, so he's been training us up in his ways, and us learning the ways of Yahweh Shema Bashai has brought us to our true talents and our true abilities. You know, what we truly capable of doing, because first and foremost, we're capable of breaking down the scriptures. There's something that nobody else in the world is able to do. You know, none of these other nations, none of these other people, even our own people, they're not doing it because the Lord didn't give them that ability to do it. So that's just the beginning of us coming back into our true power and individually learning our true talents and our true abilities, like the scripture said. And then furthermore, when you start reading about the scriptures and learning more, like I said, with all that get understanding, you start learning that our people, our ancestors had spiritual power. You know, they had rulership over the earth, like the brother had said. We control the resources of the earth. We had, you know, slaves and servants of the other nations, and that's how the Lord created us, to be the rulers of the earth. You start learning so much about yourself, and again, what you're capable of, that this world will never teach you. You got to, you know, we understand that the Lord is the one training us up. You know, like it's because we are His children. We the sons of God. So it said, can you read it again, Bobby?
It said, "Train up a child in the way he should go, teaching him to seek godly wisdom and will for his ability and talents. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it."
Right, so even when he is old, he will not depart. That's how it's going to translate into the kingdom. Because when we get into the kingdom, of course, we're going to be programmed not to go off. But that's what the scriptures is all still correlating with each other. We being trained up now, so when we get into the kingdom, we're going to be programmed not to go off, and we understand why. You know, we understand the whole plan, the whole purpose of it.
And even though we weren't taught the Bible properly, we was trained up with that Bible right there in front of us. You know what I'm saying? Teaching us this your guide. And no matter where you veered out to, you always knew in your mind, that's the book right there. You know what I'm saying? No matter how, whenever we got caught up into this world for the Lord really revealed this truth unto us, we always knew, you know what I'm saying? Cause we were trained up, you know what I'm saying? Even though our parents and stuff ain't know what we know, it wasn't even their job to know. They trained us up like this what you turn to right here.
Everything made a full circle in life. What you do, come back to the Bible.
Right.
You know, there's always a scripture that covers everything that you've done in life. You know, and you hear it, you heard it, it was instilled in us like you're going into, but we all came back to it.
Esau know that on the left-hand side, that's what he created school for. So he can train that child up in the way he want him to go. You know what I'm saying? But it don't overpower, the scriptures don't overpower the prophecy, so that's why where we at now. You know, because the scripture said that spirit gonna enter into the holy souls of each generation. But that's why Esau created the school though, because before school, the man went out and worked and the mother taught the child, you know what I'm saying, taught the children, you know what I'm saying, whenever the father was taught, you know, that we taught our own children, you know what I'm saying, we taught them not to sell out for money, you know, we were teaching them. And then we did have school, we had our own school. We had our own people teaching our children, and they was teaching them about this world, who they are, you know, and how everything goes. But
And they were teaching them who they were.
right.
And that's what they didn't want. You know?
Right.
That's where they came with their doctrine. Throw you out. Throw the people out.
Right. Cause there's a lot of stuff that the Black Panthers did was good, you know what I'm saying? We started feeding our own people, you know. That's where you get the free lunch from. You know what I'm saying? The government took that over to take that from them, destroyed them, and then like oh, they think they can feed, we gonna feed them, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we gonna train, we gonna school them too, we gonna teach them. You know, even though the Black Panthers ain't know what we knew, they understood one thing. The white man wasn't right, he was the devil, and it was on us to take care of ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Even though they infiltrated, but you still had some sick brothers that was their sisters that was in there really fighting for their people, and they were coming up with plans, you know what I'm saying? They came up with plans, you know what I'm saying? They had their own nurses, doctors, all of it. You know? And Esau, like he always did, he know we're a nation that can thrive on our own, so he always plotted and manipulated against it, and then going to that Ciroc 12, acting like he helping. But we knew he was just doing that to keep an eye on us and train us up and where he can keep us under him. You know? You gotta
go back to that Ezra. So like it's saying Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6, where it say again, if your desire be the wisdom, because wisdom leadeth unto a kingdom, you got to be trained up in the ways of the Lord. You know, trained up in the ways of Yahweh Shemawashah. And then he gonna teach you your full self, your true self, you know, your true nature, like the brother's going into, you know. And that's what's leading us back into what we really fully capable of, or AKA our best version of ourselves on this side, you know, that we can possibly be.
Like the brother was saying, like the brother said, we started off at the top, and we got knocked down to the bottom. Got to find our way back up. We got to climb back up. So we had it all already. And so they go into like I think that was last week, or maybe the week before last, like the underdog story again. It make for a better story, because we started off on top. Now you got to tell the story about how you knocked down and had to fight for it to get it back. So it make for a better story. It's more to tell. Like I say, when we get in the kingdom, I can almost picture it now. You know what I'm saying? You sitting around the campfire or something with your little one. They're telling about, well, like you say, like we were just speaking on it. We always go with the Black Panthers. We were teaching each other. We had each other. It was on us to teach each other, take care of each other. So they're gonna be back to the same thing, you know, Israel versus everybody. So we're gonna be in the kingdom telling our kids about how we came out of Babylon.
Right. It's the story of the Lion King.
Like the Black Panthers was teaching family dynamic. Esau was trying to destroy the family. Right. Like he was saying, going into the school system. We got 12 years of school, then they had to go 16 4 more for a college. And then they figured when the black woman get up to a certain status, it'll be hard for the black man to control her. Plus, at the same time, he was destroying the family dynamics and taking the black man out the family. That way he can control everything, the whole structure.
And it's still, we don't really pay attention to it. We just be going through day by day.
Right.
But now everything the table starting to turn again. Right. Now, because it was a few years ago, we were talking about how they don't need a man, they can do it all on their own. Now every time they go out, they look for a man to do something. Right. When they talking about that, oh, that's a man job, I can't do this, I can't do that. I stay at home to cook. If you just go ahead and do all this, I'd rather be back in their place, because even with Eve, they got knocked down from like to say their place of comfort. They didn't have to go out here and be with the men, do what the men go through. You gotta get up and go to work. For the ones that's on their own, they gotta pay their own bill. They either gotta find a way to fix something so they won't get messed over out their money, or take it somewhere and then you end up getting charged, you know what I'm saying, however much amount of money. So they starting to get it too.
Back to the job.
Yeah, y'all wanna buck up to the man, now you, hey, go deal with what they gotta deal with.
Right, they driving forklifts and shit.
Oh yeah. Forklifts, trucks.
Right.
Yeah. And dealing with each other in the workplace. But Eve hate to work with Eve.
Right. And then like the brother said, you know, the children learned at home. So when he destroyed that family dynamic, the man was not there to teach or discipline.
Right.
So that's why we're in the condition we are in now. You know, because all the godly principle was taken away.
Because it's just like the king, right? He letting his son know, look, you gonna inherit all this, but he got to train him up and raise. He got to earn it. If he just give it to him, he gonna destroy the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So he got to let him go through. The son can see, look, all this promise to me, this kingdom, but then he still got to make him earn it. You know, he still make him earn it, so he'll go through all the, you know what I'm saying, go through all the trials and tribulations, like you said, the danger set before to get to that, man. That's what we're going through. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going through right there. You know?
And that press got to know what it is, like what it take to maintain it.
Right, exactly.
So you got to build up to that.
So we go up to right. Learn all the things that happen. You know what I'm saying? They had to get it thrown down. And that's what we're doing now. You got it.
I'm just adding on to it. They say coming up all them years up under their father. It's like, because they take years of experience. Like I say, experience the best teacher. He gonna need all that. By the time his father get ready to transition, he got all the stuff that he need.
Perfect example of that was David and Samson. Solomon. You know, he passed the kingdom to Solomon. You know, but the Most High said, you know, from what David done, he's gonna, you know, he wasn't gonna put it on Solomon, but he would be the last king. You know, so rent from him, which, you know, after that it kind of dissolved.
Split into two kingdoms.
Like when we got these bodies and started to feel that emotion of the body. See, the angels don't feel that, you know what I'm saying? So they can do the perfect will of the Heavenly Father. But once we angels in bodies, so we got to go through, you know what I'm saying, going through these different feelings and stuff. And it kind of make you want to do one, you know what I'm saying, affect your thought process, you know what I'm saying? But that's why the scripture say we got to mortify the members of the flesh. We here to learn how to
Now we'll be having temptation per se. We'll get tempted by certain things.
Right.
Just cause we in these bodies.
Right.
You'll have it to where you know you're gonna do the right thing, or you know the right thing to do. Now you second guessing. You got to go through all of that.
Right. So he made the sons of God basically feel what the other nations feel. So when we do govern them and rule over them, you know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be fair.
Yeah, it's gonna be fair. You know what I'm saying? We gonna understand. Look, they can't do this. You know what I'm saying? We've chosen to do this. You know what I'm saying? You still gonna put that pressure on y'all. Just like y'all put it on me.
Right.
Even with that, they still get to be left alone.
Right,
They still gotta pay
1,000 years.
homage.
Right. After 1,000 years, y'all gonna get. Y'all begging now, boy. Y'all begging for us right now, cause Esau don't play. You know what I'm saying? Esau come Trump. They got the right guy in office. He come and take everybody.
Like they brother always talking about, you know, he do his news and prophecy every day. They always talking about how these other nations, they get tired of dealing with Esau. Like this nigga don't hold up to nothing he say.
Right.
He always backdooring somebody, they say you can't make a deal with him.
Right, you're right.
Say every treaty they made, they broke it. Every promise they made, they break it. They say they gonna do one thing and do another. They say they didn't, but like I said, they gonna catch up with it. They been doing wrong all these years. Now nobody want to deal with it. Just close this down, close that down. Oh, you about to run out of oil? Now you got to go take somebody else's oil, and they lead them, and his wife. See what his wife got to do with it?
Even going all the way back to Esau himself. He made a deal with Jacob, and then he tried to take the birthright.
Right.
Yeah, when my daddy died, it's over with. You goddamn, you gave it to me.
He tried to tell Isaac that Jacob stole it. Like he supplanted him out of it.
Right.
When it's clearly written down that you sold it.
Yeah, that's his character though, from the beginning. He just been playing out his role through the years.
Yeah.
It's magnified, you know.
Yeah.
They
Started with Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
Second Ezra 7:15. Now therefore, verse 15. Now therefore, why disquietest thou thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man? And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? See?
Yeah, don't. You know, we just be focused on it. You know what I'm saying? Like the scripture, like Colossians 3 say, we have to set our affections on things above. And what's above all this? The kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Where we know it's coming. This to distract us. You know what I'm saying? Why we can't live by sight? We gotta live by faith. You know? You got it, bro.
Then answered I and said, O Lord, that bearest rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish.
The dude that got killed on the coast. My bad.
Nevertheless,
Be over there with Nolan.
she said,
Be over there with Nolan.
No buddy that got killed on the coast.
IUIC already out there.
Yeah, they supposed to ride tomorrow though. Supposed to march tomorrow on the Capitol down here.
what they gonna do?
Then
I see gonna march down.
Yeah, with the megaphone hollering.
Yeah.
That's what they gonna do. He gone now. And like we was talking about that the week that it happened, like that wasn't wise. That brother went out there with 3 mics.
One wide,
Mixed in
man.
with alcohol.
Right.
I'm not saying we glad it happened, but you gotta be smarter than that.
On the island.
Yeah.
Well, ain't no phone, no nothing, no
Man,
restaurant, no
it's
nothing. They ain't got no lights. They using campfires for lights at night, so
Yeah.
why would you go out there, man?
Yeah.
Then you 10 miles surrounded by water.
It's 10 miles to get there from land, so yeah, that's crazy,
In
man.
Mississippi.
Exactly. He supposed talking about he supposed to new builder, man.
Yeah.
They probably, he got caught up in their word.
You know, a lot of people don't know. You right. He should have known, but a lot of people don't know better. They go to school and they preach. Now ain't nobody racing, but we all the time we know they racing.
Right.
We know they right. Ain't never comfortable around them either, Mike. Not even the men. Especially the men, as well as the women.
Right.
That's horrible.
Yeah, they migrate to school together. I went to everything with dominant black where I went to. I ain't never went to, where white folks.
Right.
So, I ain't never been comfortable around them because I know they always been snaking.
Yeah.
And, all people, they get comfortable and, I got white friends and stuff. They think they got privilege like them, especially our women.
Hey,
Yeah.
when the shit hit the fan, you're gonna be on the white side of the
Yeah,
black side,
right.
and you're gonna be over here and over there, and that's it.
And they gonna stick together.
So no.
They're gonna go against you, but they all of them gonna stick together.
But that's the Lord's doing that to rouse Jacob more.
Yeah.
Right.
Jake been docile for too long.
Yeah.
Lord allowing more and more accounts to come up, and like the scripture say, who shall rouse them up?
Yeah.
And like you say, they about to march. Let's say tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. They done riled them up. It ain't gonna do nothing. They riled them up. And then, like you say, the Lord, everything happened for a reason. He's still showing, it's still your enemy.
All right.
Your parents might not have brought you up to be like, hey, watch them. But don't you be around them, but don't, don't put yourself in a situation where it's just you and a bunch of them. So you should be smarter than that, but still showing you that's your enemy.
Like I was telling around the earth, white man at work, he overfound. He called one of the guys called him Chicken Joe. Called him Chicken Joe. I said, man, I told you not to go to the crawfish farm. He was telling how nasty they were. They eat crawfish on the table. And when they bring the crawfish out, they pour it out on top of the table, on top of the one that they ain't already ate. I mean, I said, man, nah, I ain't going to that, man. I don't eat crawfish, none of this stuff anyway, so I don't need me to go.
Right.
Yeah. But all people in love with them, man. They, some jakes, I don't feel sorry for because they cater to them.
Yeah.
They be all up in their face, smiling, laughing, and grinning, playing with. You can't play with the surf because he's going to eventually bite you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Verse 17, then answered I and said, O Lord, that bearest rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but the ungodly should perish.
Right. See, because Ezra understood that it was written in our laws. The Lord had promised our forefather we were going to rule over the earth. He knew about the promise made to Rebecca. The elder shall serve the younger. And Ezra was asking, like, why this ain't came to pass yet? What's going on? But the Lord had to let Ezra know, again, it's a process of time. A process had to happen. It ain't just the Lord finna put us in the kingdom without giving us the proper experience on how to actually rule it. Because we gonna rule the kingdom, we gonna rule the universe alongside Yahweh Shah. Well, Yahweh Shah said, my father's house are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you. So we gonna expand far beyond the earth. But we got to have the proper understanding of how to rule the earth in righteousness, which is the first blueprint of what the Lord wanted to establish righteousness in another realm. Because in the heavens, it's nothing but righteousness. But on earth, it's nothing but wickedness. So the Lord wants us to establish that righteousness first on earth, and then that righteousness is going to expand throughout the whole universe.
And like you keep saying, light is real. And you hear still real. He said, brother said we're going to have to work for it. We've been bought down. Now you gotta work for the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Search it out. And like the scripture say, it's his good pleasure to give us the kingdom, but we gonna work for it. Now you gotta get up and go to work, deal with Esau, deal with stress, you know what I'm saying? Build, car broke down, and it's like it's something every day.
Right.
And you get a little stretch, a few days, everything going good, like, oh hell, something about to go down. Everything about to happen at one time.
Yeah.
And all of that weakens us, you know, because it puts our body under stress, even though it may not be nothing that physically bothering you mentally, but just the stressful of every day getting up, going to work, doing this, doing that, you know, the day-to-day routine that you do from week to week, that's stress on your body, you know, and like with me, you know, I'm having issues with kidneys, but it was coming from stress, you know, and once they got, you know, some stuff to ease the stress off the body, they started getting better. Eyes, you know, and your eyes are tied to your kidneys.
Right.
So, you know, he just got us in a routine that, you know, we can't relax. You go on a vacation, you may have 2 or 3 days of relaxation. You come back, you go to work, it just take one day and it puts you right back where you were 3 weeks ago.
You're on vacation, still watching your pockets, how much money you spend.
That last day of vacation, you like, man, I gotta get back. And I gotta make sure everything's straight, make sure the bills are okay and everything.
Yeah.
Like I really don't even get no break for real. I got a little piece of break.
Right.
But I'm thinking about it the whole time, like you said, bro.
Yeah.
Cause it's still my finance. I still gotta live.
You ain't go over this money, I gotta take this money out to go spend.
Right.
You know, so you go out, you really can't even enjoy yourself. You still on the, like I say, Esau got you on a limit.
Right.
Like they say, what's it called?
Budget?
Yeah, but it was another word. Like when you get paid, your wages, it was like a cap. You still got a cap.
Yeah.
They put a cap on it. You can only go so far. You can only get so comfortable. You go to a job, they paying you X amount of money, you can only make up to this much an hour. So there's still a cap on everything. When you're in the kingdom, there ain't gonna be no cap. You get to be, you get to exist.
Yeah.
You wake up and, like I always talk about, you get to wake up, woman playing no harp, children running around, you get to be, just exist, just be.
No worries.
Like you say, the stress of this world, they'll come up now, people our age, something happen, they be like, I don't want to die. But as you get on, get up in years, you get to living so long, you hear it all the time, like my elders, like my grandparents and stuff, my great-grandparents, they always say, I'm tired. They be ready to go.
Yeah.
And they might not know what I know or what we know, but they know it's something better on the other side.
Right.
So they gotta be better than this. I'm tired, I'm ready to go.
And, you know, when you mention parents and grandparents, you know, that's what our grandparents used to teach back in the day, you know. Don't come here stressing me out, you know.
Yeah.
They tell you that in a minute, you know, and that's when you go to the doctor, they went to the doctor, that's what the doctor say, hey, reduce your stress, don't stress yourself out, you know, because they have all these different medications that they have, you know, so, you know, you start thinking about it, you know, like just think about it, high blood pressure, they say it's the #1 silent killer. You have a heart attack, what's the first thing they give you? When the ambulance comes to see you, pick you up or tend to you. Saline, which is salt water.
Oh, right.
So all it is, all high blood pressure is lack of salt. But they want to put you on day salt tablets.
Yeah, they salt tablets. Yeah.
You know, so you know, he got everything figured out where he can make money.
Right. Until you don't
eat salt. Right. Right. Or the Himalaya.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what our body needs. Because when you sweat, what do you sweat out?
Salt. When you taste it, you playing sports, you mess around there, hole in your mouth.
Yeah.
All you taste is salt.
Yeah.
And then the scriptures talk about salt. You know, when it loses flavor, you know, it's no good. So.
Yeah.
We the salt of the earth.
Right.
Like, so it's in. You gotta be important.
Gotta be important.
Man, I'm finding a lot out. Diabetes, you know, it's they talking about it's due to the pancreas. But I ain't never have. Can anybody tell me somebody they knew that cut off limbs for diabetes besides your legs?
They ain't cutting your arms.
They always cutting your toes, your foot, and your ankle, and your legs off.
They like it.
and they lights better on.
Yeah, so it's not from the pancreas way up here.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, why they cut limbs off down there? So it's got to be something dealing with the lower extremity.
You still take your own? Don't take mine. That's mine. It took me. Yeah.
Y'all about Shemai Shai saw that everything was good in the grill, but in the beginning, he put everything here you're gonna need.
Yeah.
And all they do, whatever herb it is that'll fix the problem, they'll put it in there with a whole bunch of other stuff. That's how you get the side effect.
Right.
Anything else, you really just have to, you might deal with it like a little nasty little aftertaste or something.
Yeah.
Or like when you deal with like horseradish, it might hit you right in your sinuses.
Right.
That's about it.
Right.
That's the only side effect you got.
Open your sinus.
Yeah,
You don't have no
blast.
problem. Right. Problem. But now you can't even find it.
Nowhere.
Can't find it nowhere.
I'm gonna pass 2-3 pass on when we get no horseradish.
I even look after the Passover. Still ain't found it.
But that's because they know.
Yeah.
They know what it'll do for you, man.
When you said that, made me think about when they said that bee venom can cure cancer, and they put a patent to shut down all the bee centers, research
See?
centers.
You know what I'm saying? They know. They gonna patent it and put a name on it and distribute it to the world with they stamp on it.
So all the people do go in and just kill the parasite, because cancer is nothing but parasites. That's why it builds a mass.
Yeah.
You know, the body is trying to keep them from spreading throughout the body.
Right.
So that's what that mask is.
Verse 18, nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. And he said unto me, there is no judge above Yahweh Shemai Shai, and none that hath understanding above the highest.
Right. So they said there is no judge above the Most High and above the highest. So when we start learning the words of Yahweh Shemai, I think that was Psalm 71 or 73, where he said, going into the story how he was jealous of the other nations because they was prospering, the wicked, they were prospering, and the righteous was always going through stuff. And 71 comes. And then he said until he came into the sanctuary of the Most High, then he understood. He started to realize that, okay, the Lord got them set up in a place where they gonna actually fall. You know, they overly confident. But the Lord wants us to maintain our integrity. You know, maintain our faith, our patience, and our integrity into Him, and continue to learn, be trained up in His way. Because like the brother's been going into, when we get the kingdom, we gonna rule it the right way. It ain't gonna be no more slip ups, no mess ups. Esau ain't gonna be able to slide in there and tell Eve to do something or what not to do. You know, that ain't gonna happen again. None of these other nations gonna ever be able to do that again either.
So Eve learn her lesson too.
Right.
Or gonna learn her lesson.
Right, and Eve is, the Israelite woman in general is gonna learn to respect the Israelite man, because the Israelite man is set up to be the gods of the earth, you know, under Yahweh Shah. So, like you said, they gonna know not to ever disrespect their men ever again, or get out of line.
Like I say, we getting the crash for it right now. In the kingdom, Esau done already showed us everything what not to do. And if we do this, then we're gonna have it. Because eventually they gonna cease to exist.
Right.
That's their end goal. That's their promise.
Right. So it ain't no need for us to be envious of the wicked, because you got a lot of our people. They see the celebrities of our nation, and they think that they got an easier life, not realizing that their life ain't easy. They just got more money than you, so they got more access to resources, but that don't make their life easy.
Right.
They still gotta answer to Esau, and they losing freedom. At least being under the Heavenly Father, you still got freedom. You know, you might be poor, yeah, but you got freedom, and you got something to look forward to. But the Lord say, you know, those who basically choose this world, you receive your consolation. So you ain't got nothing. I mean, of course they're gonna come back in the kingdom, but as far as salvation is concerned, you got nothing to look forward to. But a lot of our people, they see these celebrities, you know, whether it be male or female, they look up to them and they want to create their own path instead of going the path of the Lord. So they being trained up by Esau Edom. That's why Yahweh Shah said, you are of your father the devil, and the works of your father ye do. Those Pharisees, those leaders, they was trained up under Esau, you know, to do his bidding. But we've been trained up under the Heavenly Father. The Lord is teaching us our true talents and our true abilities, like the scripture has said. So we can actually receive a true kingdom.
And I had a precept that you had said, like pretty much don't envy Esau. This is Job 20 and verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was upon the earth, that the triumphant of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite before a moment. Like I say, they got it now. Like you talking about these athletes and these rappers.
I'm contributing to your church, your organization.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right then.
Like I say, the triumph of the wicked is short. They got this jewelry, they got these cars, these houses. They say any given moment, Esau can take it all the way, or put a scandal on them, blemish his image. And then even with that, like we were just talking about a minute ago, they still got a cap, and then they got a net worth. Right. They say if they sell all their stuff, that's how much money they worth. And when it's all gone, then what? So that's on the temple. And what we focus on is gonna be eternal.
Right.
The little diamond train and Lamborghini don't add up to that.
All right, cause they can just print another one, make another one.
Yeah.
Back in 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 20. For there be many that perish in this life because they despise the law of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that is set before them. For Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai hath given straight commandment to such as Cain, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways.
Right, and again, you got a lot of our people that, because remember, this is still going off of the analogy of the fire on one side, water on the other side. A lot of our people in today's time feel that same way, like they don't really care about the Lord or how he thinks, because they'll say they believe in the Bible, but then when you start telling them things that's in the Bible, they don't want to believe it. They'll say that's how you think, that's how you feel, or they interpret it a different way. But we didn't write the Bible. We just agree with what it says because we understand it. So a lot of our people, they fall in that same mindset. But again, that's why I say it's a narrow road, because our people, they don't really just want to clean their ways up because they know they live in a certain way. It don't come with glamour. It don't come with fame. It don't come with the riches. You know, it ain't about, your life start being about you, you know. It ain't about you. It's about Yahweh Shah. And Yahweh Shah is promising us a place in his kingdom where you can actually enjoy it. You know, but in this life right now, our people, they concerned with their own lives and concerned with themselves, you know.
But his law have they despised and denied his covenants, and his statutes have they not been faithful and have not performed his works. And therefore Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth.
Right.
And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evil shall see my wonders. For my son, they ain't talking about Yahweh Shai, you know?
Yeah.
For my son Yahweh Shai shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years.
Right, so that's going into the elect. You know, when Yahweh Shah return, he's going to deliver the elect. Because those are the ones that went through that narrow path and they received the kingdom. Remember, they already discussed it in 2nd Ezra chapter 2, where it said that Ezra seen that great multitude which he couldn't number, and he commended them for standing so stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shah, and it said that Yahweh Shah was putting crowns on their heads. You know, that was going into basically the kingdom. You know, so they already discussed that, but the angel was given, the Lord through the angel was giving Israel more understanding that in order to get to that point, they got to go through all these difficulties in order to reach the kingdom.
After these years shall my son, Yahweh Shai, die, and all men that have life. And the world shall be turned into the old silence 7 days, like as in the former judgment, so that no man shall remain. And after 7 days, the world that yet awakened not shall be raised up, and that shall die that is corrupt.
Right. So at a certain point in time, taken away from the earth, you know, we didn't have a true understanding. We didn't have a true understanding of the scriptures. You know, we didn't know who we was. The Lord said we were gonna fall away from our heritage. All that happened, but you know, the seven just goes into completion. You know, 7 days is going to a complete set of time, and then we woke back up into the truth.
How y'all doing, bro?
How you doing?
And the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her, and so shall the dust, those that dwell in silence, and the secret places shall deliver those souls that were committed unto them. And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment, and misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end.
Right. So the Lord always throughout the Bible always talked about an ending to our suffering. You know, no matter what scriptures you go to, what Bible, people say Old, New Testament, he always talked about an ending to our suffering. But we had to go through the suffering in order to appreciate the kingdom that's behind it, and to understand his master plan to begin with. You know, with the whole thing with Adam from Adam on down. And remember, we still those sons of God. Even though our name was changed to Israel, we still are the sons of God. So the whole plan of the Lord, we got a better understanding than how it was in the beginning.
But judgment only shall remain, truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong. And the work shall follow, and the reward shall be shown. And the good deeds shall be a force, and the wicked deeds shall bear no root. Then said I, Abraham, prayed first for the Sodomites, and Moses for the fathers that sinned in the wilderness, and Yahweh Shai after him for Israel in the time of Achan, and Samuel and David for the destruction, and Solomon for them that should come to the sanctuary,
Y'all got some.
and Elias for those that receive rain, and for the dead that he might live, and Ezekiah for the people in the time of Sennacherib, and many for many. Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up, and wickedness increasing, and the righteous shall have prayed for the ungodly, wherefore shall it not be so now also?
Right. Because we understand now, you know, what it said, let the righteous be righteous and let the wicked be wicked still, you know what I'm saying? So, and then let you know the wicked not going to understand these times that we're in. So we understand 2/3 of people just going to have to die and come back in their right mind, you know. Go ahead, bro.
He answered me and said, this present life is not the end where much glory doth abide.
See, this present life ain't the end, we understand it, you know. What we striving for, what we leading up to is immortality, you know. That's the point that's what we striving for, immortality. Because we understand this word is love, we understand this ain't the world, you know. No matter how much money people got, once they lose a loved one or something, they realize all the money they got can't bring them back, can't do nothing. You realize it's all vain. And Solomon realized that. Solomon had everything in his control. He realized this shit all vain at the end of the day. That's what he's understanding. Until the kingdom is established, which is going to lead to nothing but a righteousness on the earth, you know what I'm saying? No wickedness. And that, you know, that's basically when death is gonna flee away, you know what I'm saying? From us, from our people. And that's the perfect world right there, you know. We can build up something right now. you still lose your loved ones, children getting caught up in this and that, then, you know what I'm saying, what is it? You know what I'm saying? You realize this shit vain, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's what we strive for. Jake know how to make captivity look good.
Right. So, right. So he gonna do it all the way to the end, boy.
Jake think he's all the way to the end,
to the finish line.
Like you said, just a few days, it's Friday, you know what I'm saying?
Right. He been working all week. He been captive all week.
Yeah, just trying to let it loose, you know what I'm saying? Release it,
Therefore, as they prayed for the weak, but the day of doom shall be the end of this time and the beginning of the immortality to come.
The beginning of the immortality to come, you know, that's that incorruptible crown. You know what I'm saying? See, Esau, he gonna teach you to strive what he's striving for, because he realized he can't receive it. He know he can't get this incorruptible crown. So put yourself in his shoes. You knew that in your spirit. You finna act just how he acted. Well, I don't say you, but you can understand why he acting the way he acting. You know what I'm saying? He just living it up till it's over with for him. You know what I'm saying? You got it.
He already know the end of the story. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? He already know that the end ain't looking good. Like,
right.
You know, I might well live it up right now every day and be the evil as I can to everybody, you know what I mean?
Somebody get that rejoice over
Yeah. I'm gonna take all who I can take with.
Yeah, that's it.
Rejoice over you, go ahead,
But the day of doom shall be the end of this time and the beginning of the immortality for to come.
Jacob is the end. Jacob is Esau's the end. We're gonna get that. Somebody hold it. With this coming, that's the second year of the 6. Go ahead. Hold that real quick. Read that. Finish that verse. Get this here to 6.
Wherein corruption is past.
See, wherein corruption is past. See, and this is why I say we look for new heavens and new earth, where righteousness dwells. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. You know, that's what the kingdom of heaven is all about, because the kingdom of heaven is gonna be on earth. His will gonna be done on earth as it is in the 4th dimension. You know, it's coming to this. We came to implement it in this dimension. You know, we came to help implement it in this dimension. You know, play our part, play our role, and we're gonna receive it. Lord willing, we don't feel we're gonna see the just reward at the end. You know, like Jason, we want to rule the neighborhoods. Lord, look, you from here to here. You know what I'm saying? You ruling this whole country. You got your whole country. Then you know what I'm saying, you got other planets in space, other dimensions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? How Esau trying to make it out there.
Right.
The Esau trying to do everything he know what's promised to us. Because the world was made for our sakes. Go ahead, I saw it at the top of it. We're gonna come back to that. How many more verses do we have? Oh, go ahead.
All right, this is Ezra 6, verse 1. Second Ezra 6, verse 1. And he said unto me in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or if ever the winds blew,
right,
before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundation of the paradise were laid.
See, before all the hosts, this is what we call the 6-day creation story. Before any of that, the Lord thought it all out. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the height of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in the Zion were high. And the earth, the present year, was sought out, and or ever the inventions of them that now seeing were turned, therefore before they were sealed, that had gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other by me. Also, they shall be in and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the time? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follows?
Just like he was just reading, you know. The end of corruption, and then it's going to be the beginning of immortality, man. But immortality was only promised to one nation of people. Nation of Israel, Hebrews 8 and 8. You got it, bro. Jeremiah 31:31. You got it.
For he said unto me, from Adam unto Isaac.
See, it started from Adam, all the way from Adam.
Salaki, Abraham.
From Abraham, Salaki. But we know that this post-flood Abraham, second year of the street going to when he gave everything to Adam, you know. But after the flood, it started over with Abraham. You got it.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac. When Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
Yeah, and this is what it's talking about. You know? Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Because once Jacob is in his kingdom and established, that's where the immortality come in. You know, somebody get that Hebrews 8 and 8. Let's sit on that. Go ahead, I'll finish this verse.
Oh, that was good on that verse.
But yeah, get Lamentation time. Esau is the end, then we're going to be Jacob.
This is Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21 in the AMP.
What's 15? We look for a nation that cannot save us, so it's 17.
17. This is Lamentations 4.
What's 15 say?
The anger of the Lord.
No, you start at 17. Yeah, start right there at 15.
It's 16.
I'm 16.
It's Lamentations 4 and 16 in the KJV. The anger of the Lord hath divided them. He will no longer he will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests, they favored not the elders.
Right, and it's talking about Israel right there. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord punished us. You know, go ahead. Because the Lord gave us, He gave us law, statutes, and commandments. And why that was given to us? To help establish His will in this realm. You know what I'm saying? He already, like he was just reading in 2nd Ezra 6. The Lord thought it all out before He created everything. You know what I'm saying? He created everything we needed on earth. Then He created us. You know what I'm saying? Then He gave Adam the laws, statutes, and commandments on how to govern everything. Govern the earth. Right. You know what I'm saying? How to take care of the earth. How to treat people. All of it. You know what I'm saying? And how to give all praise, glory, and honor to Him for giving it. We the right of His inheritance.
As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
And see, that's what we done, man. You know, we watched for a nation that could not save us. Esau can't save us, man. Esau is our arch enemy. And we have to realize that now, you know. Yeah, go ahead.
In the AMP, the enemy hunted our steps so that we could not walk in our streets. Our end drew near. Our days were finished, for our end had come.
Right.
Our pursuers were swifter than the eagles of the sky.
Right.
They pursued us on the mountains. They waited in ambush for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, our King.
And this turned to the ancient Babylonian, but it's also going into the virgin daughter of Babylon, who took on his ways, who was right there helping. You know what I'm saying? Who was slaughtering us when we was getting away. According to Obadiah, Esau Edom, man. You know, go ahead.
The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord our King, was captured in their snares. He of whom we had said, under his shadow, we shall live among the nations.
Right, see, so we've been living amongst the nations still under the shadow of Yahweh Shema. And like he said in Baruch 4, We wasn't sold to the nations for our destruction, so that's why we still here. But we moved the Most High to anger, so he punished us. Go ahead.
Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, who lives in the land of Uz.
See, so rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. So this is what they've been doing. Ever since they've been in the rulership, they've been rejoicing and being glad. So go ahead.
But the cup of the wine of the Most High's wrath will pass to you as well.
Right.
You will become drunk and make yourself naked.
Right, and this is what's going on now, see. They have become drunken off of their own juice. They Babylonian juice. They exposing each other now. You know, they tell on each other now. You know what I'm saying? That's just how wicked it done got with them. You know what I'm saying? And where they snitch it on each other.
Right.
Because why? It ain't like their own people get caught up into their wickedness now. But that's how wickedness is. You just wicked. Eventually it's gonna start to some of your own people gonna get caught up in the wickedness. Go ahead, bro.
The punishment of your sin has been completed, O daughter of Zion.
See, the punishment of our sin is wrapping, the Lord wrapping it up now. You know?
The Lord will no longer send you into exile or captivity.
The Lord, we're not going into captivity anymore.
But
Go ahead.
But he will punish your sin, O daughter of Edom. He will expose your sins.
Right. And this is what he's doing right now. He's all being exposed on every level. You know, what they can do. All they doing is just doing what they revert back to their blessing. They ain't hiding it no more. They just taking everybody's land, whoever they can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just showing up taking stuff now without even hiding it or nothing. You know? And like they done Venezuela. You know, they tried to do Iran, but this gonna lead to their downfall. You know, it's Persia. Them the Carmanians, you know. It's over with for you. They've been preparing for this forever. They've been preparing for you forever, Esau.
Waiting on that glory day.
You got that Hebrews 8 in there? Going to verse 6.
Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 6. But now, as he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises.
The better covenant and the better promises is he gonna program us to keep it right. But he had to let us go through all the ups and downs of every emotion and the process we've been going through. You know what I'm saying? Before he programmed us to keep the law, statutes, and commandments right. You know what I'm saying? So like the brother was saying earlier, experience is the best teacher every time. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, said Yahweh Shai, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
See, so that's who that new covenant is for. That's who the old covenant was for, the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Go ahead, and he's going to tell you what the covenant is.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, said Yahweh Shai. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said Yahweh Shai. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord.
Right.
For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest.
So all our people, once the Lord established the kingdom, they all gonna be righteous. They all gonna be right. We ain't gonna have to teach no more. We're not gonna have to do what we're doing. This part of the process right here too. You know, go ahead, bro.
For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins and their iniquities.
Right.
Will I remember no more.
Oh, and it's only for the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
And that he saith, a new covenant he hath made the first old.
Right.
Now that which decayeth and waxes old is ready to vanish away.
So for everybody to say Israel, the Lord gave us the law, statutes, and commandments, and we rejected it, and then he went to the other nations. No, that's a lie. The old covenant and the new covenant is for the Israelites, not the other nations. Go back to where you were reading.
This is 2nd Ezra 7:43. But the day of doom shall be the end of his time.
See, the day of doom, the end of what time? The end of Esau's rule. That's like Esau know he got some kind of doomsday clock. He got the doomsday plane. You know, he think he gonna survive it though. It come back.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And do his thing. You know. Go ahead.
and the beginning of the immortality for to come.
See, the beginning of the immortality. That's what we were just reading about. The Israelites, because once he put the law, statutes, and once we are programmed to keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly, we not gonna die no more. The wages of sin is death. We're not gonna sin no more. We're not gonna die. Lead to immortality. You got it, bro.
And the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past.
Right.
Intemperance is at an end.
And we're gonna establish. This is when the other nations gonna come bowing down to us and asking us. Matter of fact, get that. What's that? Isaiah 2. Get Isaiah 2 real quick. This is when the other nations gonna. This is when it's gonna be for the other nations. Right now, it's not for them. Right now, it's all about Yahshua, the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Us teaching each other. Us getting back to our rulership. Us getting back to the gods that we are. Go ahead. Yeah.
Isaiah chapter 2 and 1, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains.
Right, so we're going to be above all the governments. You know what I'm saying? Like Daniel 7 said, and all dominion and kingdom, and all the dominions and kingdoms going to serve us. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Revelation 11, where the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord, and we're going to be joint heirs with him. Go ahead, bro.
And shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it.
See, this is when all the nations going to flow into, into, they're going to see our glory and our power and our kingdom. They're going to be bringing their glory into it, whatever resources they got. They beautiful daughters, they're going to be giving them to us. You know what I'm saying? Instead of glory of the, all the nations, they're going to bring all their glory into the kingdom. Revelation 21. Go ahead, bro.
And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord.
See, and this is what the nation's going to say. This is when we're going to teach them. Go ahead.
To the house of the God of Jacob.
To the house of the God of Jacob. Go ahead.
And he will teach us of his ways.
This is when the other nations going to learn. He will teach us. Because even now, the other nations still, they still got that pack with Esau. He just backdoored them. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 83. But they still ain't gonna humble themselves to us right now and let us rule over them. They still, even though they got some form of righteousness to them, but it's because we getting back in our glory now. You know what I'm saying? That they can't buck up as much as they want to, but they show us how they feel. You know what I'm saying? And they run the businesses in our community, and they don't give nothing back. You know what I'm saying? They treat us any kind of way, so they still against us. You got it, bro. But once we get back into our glory, like our vibration gonna be so high, they can't do nothing but bow down. You know what I'm saying? They can't do nothing but bow down or be annihilated. So Isaiah 60 and 12, every nation that don't serve us shall be destroyed and consumed. That's why Esau gonna be destroyed and consumed, because in his spirit he can't learn righteousness. He can't learn righteousness no matter what, because he was made to be the wicked. So he gonna be done away with. You got it, bro.
And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
See, and that ain't talking about the guys in the land of Israel right now. You know what I'm saying? No. Because if they was the people, and people would be bowing down right now, asking them to teach them their ways. But everybody know who they are. We ain't gonna say everybody, but the other nations in the Middle East, they know who they are. They know their extension. You see how who band together with them? Esau. Because those are Amalekites. They the head tribe of the nation of Egypt. You gotta understand what's going on. Go ahead, bro. That's it, man.
I'm reading one more. Verse 4 in the AMP, it says, and he will judge between the nations and will mediate disputes for many peoples, and they will beat their swords.
Oh, he said he gonna judge many nations. We gonna mediate disputes amongst the nations. They gonna be having disputes. You know, we gonna be judged, telling them, nope, this ain't how they do us now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How we all in court with Esau.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying? Unrighteous judge.
Right.
But it's gonna be righteous judge. We gonna establish righteous judge. We gonna show them how they gonna have to govern amongst themselves. You know, which we gonna still be. We still gonna be over them. You know. But we're gonna teach them, they gonna come and like, look, we want, cause that's going to do Deuteronomy 4. When they say they gonna finally say this is a wise and understanding people, an understanding nation. You know, go ahead, bro.
And they will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not lift up the sword against nation, and they never again will learn war.
See, once we establish our kingdom, ain't gonna be no more war on the earth. You know, Esau got these nuclear bombs, man. We gonna do away with all that, man. You know what I'm saying? This man here got so much stuff, man. But that's his blessing.
Right. Yeah.
That's his blessing, you know.
Right.
This man got healed. That's why the Lord said if he don't cut the days short, this man will annihilate all life on earth, plant life, animal life, everything that got life, he gonna annihilate it, man. He got bombs to do that. You know what I'm saying? Who do that? Nobody but Esau. You got it.
2nd Ezra 7 and 44. Intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off.
See, temperance at an end, infidelity is cut out.
Righteousness is grown and truth is sprung up.
Right.
Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed.
See, ain't nobody gonna be able to say Esau then, man. You know, go ahead.
Nor to oppress him.
People ain't gonna be jumping away, man. He alright. All of them ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? Right. Go ahead, bro.
Nor to oppress him that has gotten the victory.
Right. You know, we already got the victory. We just got to go through the process. The Lord already said we got the victory over death and everything. What's more powerful than that? That's what Esau wants. He want victory over death. He know we got it, man. Even within these bodies we got, when he look at our cells and stuff, that's how the Lord made it though. Even with this body we got right now, you know what I'm saying? When Esau look at that, we got cells that don't never die, which don't know other nation got it, but that's only the Israelite. Esau know that. So he trying to overcome. He trying to get the power over death. You know what I'm saying? He want to extract our melanin. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at this video, his white science. Did I put it in the thing?
I think you did.
Where the white sciences were like 10 years from now. They like all the Edomites gonna be gone because how the ozone layer just keep opening up, so much sun coming through. He like it's annihilating them. He like that's why all the Edomite women and stuff want a black man, because they understand the only way they gonna exist is they gotta have a child with melanin. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got it, bro.
Yeah, brother been talking about that too. Like it's so hot now.
Yeah.
Like this ain't the same heat I was playing in when I was little. This ain't the same 90-something degrees. And they was talking about how the sun ain't like it's orange, it's yellow color no more, how it's like straight white. It's almost like you looking at an LED light.
Yeah.
The man had destroyed the earth because what the Lord tell him, if he can destroy any other right, if he can destroy any, then he'll break the covenant with us. So Esau trying, he's been trying. Just like they showed something, hey, my cousin tell me about somehow they showed it went through the sun. The man trying to shoot missiles at the sun, the moon. Esau trying his best to get that covenant. You know what I'm saying? To get that covenant broke from Israel, but it ain't gonna happen.
Like, you remember what you said, right? I pulled it off.
Right.
You're a man of your word, man. Verse 46. I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else, when it was given him, to have restrained him from sinning.
So the Lord could have done that in the beginning, like he gonna do, like the end of all this. He gonna restrain us from sinning when we giving those new bodies. He could have done that with Adam, but no, experience the best teacher.
That's right.
He wanted us to go through everything we've been going through right now, to lead up to it. You know, go ahead.
For what profit?
Why? Because in the fourth dimension, we ain't need these bodies, so all the emotional part we ain't have to go through. But in this realm, when he established the kingdom, we gonna have immortal bodies, you know what I'm saying? We still gonna have the bodies to where we doing the stuff we doing now, but it's gonna be Superman bodies to where that desire of sin in the flesh, the desire of sin gonna be taken away from us. You got it?
For what profit is it for men now in this present time to live in heaviness, and after death to look for punishment? O thou Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee.
Guess what? The first Adam and the second Adam is the same. So the first Adam, which is your outside. Going into the first Adam, when he talking about, through him all men died. Through the second Adam, all men gonna be saved. That's why Yahushua came and he came and paid the price for the fall anyway, because he's the first Adam. Right. So you got it, bro.
For what profit is it unto us if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death? And that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves being mocked, most wicked are made vain. And that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly.
Well, healing and safety, because like he said, he gonna be forgiven.
And that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a warring life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all. And that there should be shown a paradise whose fruit endures forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it. And we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness.
Ezra was just, once Ezra had just been reading the history and everything, he like, man, Lord, what happened? Why you ain't put us through all this? You know what I'm saying? The Lord just had to let them know, look, this is my show.
Right.
You don't love my people more than me, just you know, but like the brother said, we just gotta be happy and grateful that we got to understand it, man. This is why our people crash out, because they don't understand what's going on. They don't have the comfort of these scriptures to comfort them. So they gonna strive for it right now and do whatever it takes. You know. Go ahead, bro.
But while we lived and committed iniquity, we consider not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
See, this is the condition of the battle. You know, which man that's born upon earth shall fight. You know, go ahead.
That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said, but if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say.
See, there you go, man. What the Lord said, he that overcome it, you know, shall I give it, what is it? I should write his name. Go ahead, bro.
For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, choose thee life, that thou mayest live.
He that overcomes shall I give power over the nation. You know, that 144,000. We gonna, you know, Lord willing, we don't win. They gonna overcome all things. Yeah,
nevertheless, they believe not him, nor yet the prophets after him, no more me which have spoken unto them, that there should not be such heaviness in their destruction, as shall be joy over them that persuaded to salvation. I answered then and said, I know, Lord, that the Most High is called merciful, and that he has mercy upon them which are not yet come into the world, and upon those also that turn to his law. And that he is patient and long-suffering those that have sinned and his creatures. And that he is bountiful, for he is ready to give where it needed. And that he is of great mercy, for he multiplies more and more mercies to them that are present and that are past, and also to them which are to come. For if he shall not multiply his mercies, the world will not continue with them that inherit therein. And he pardoned them, for if he did not sow of his goodness, that they which have committed iniquities might be eased of them, the 10,000th part of men should not remain living. And being judged, if he should not forgive them that are cured with his word and put out a multitude of contentions, there should be very few left, peradventure, in an innumerable multitude.
Right. That's right. So that's what it's all about, man. Understanding what we here for. You know what I'm saying? What we were born for. So, like Ezra said, Lord, you should have never let Adam. You know what I'm saying? You should have just made Adam basically to where he didn't go out. But this the ending of it all. Because we the Adamites, you know what I'm saying? The Adamites was a whole nation of people, you know. So, you get that on Isaiah 33, 5 and 6.
This is Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 5. Yahweh Shem Shai is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness.
Right, see, so now we filled with judgment and righteousness. Now we understand everything. Now we understand, like, this whole process of why we've been going through everything we've been going through, why the world like it is. It's just the beginning for us. You know what I'm saying? It's the beginning. It's the end for everybody else. If we just finna live. We got eternity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got all eternity to waiting on us. You know. Go ahead.
And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
So this is what's wisdom and knowledge. The stability of our times. It always has been. And the strength of our salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So, okay, you got it, bro.
I know we're going to close out. Foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well.
Right.
Salutations to all the brothers out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth.
Right.
Psalm 1 to the brothers and children out there keep this word of sincerity and the truth. We hope this lesson is edifying. Until next time, we say, Kwam Yasha'Allah.
Kwam Yasha'Allah.
Ba ba ba.
Ba ba ba.
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom. Right.